because your team, and I say this to my people too, I'm like, you guys are this is the bloodline of the agency. Like you can't do it all yourself. There's only
Yeah.
so much you and I can do. Even at being like the best producer out there or best salesman out there, there's the marketing, there's the sales, the service. Once it all starts to build up, and you got $1 million in premium, and you got people calling you 7, 8 times a day saying, "Change my auto."
Yeah.
My mortgages need to update. Dude, there's no way. You need your people is the biggest and best investment you'll make. Hey, Kenny.
How you doing, man?
Hi.
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well, doing well. Happy was today, Taco Tuesday.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Taco Tuesday. Let's
Well,
go, man.
welcome. I'm just going to be here to moderate this the whole time, but we have about like 20-ish minutes, so I'll just let you guys go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks, Camden.
Mhm.
Thank you. I want to say I'm a big fan of yours. I watch your YouTube all the time.
Oh, thanks.
I have an insurance YouTube as well, and it's not a lot of YouTubers out there, doing what you're doing. So you bring value. I started my agency actually in January, and I'm only 23. So I worked for State Farm for a little bit, but I knew I didn't want to stay there. I just wanted that experience. So then when I got the experience, I left, and now I'm like doing my own thing, and it's been amazing. I've been pretty busy. Just want to work on, like, I'm very heavy on like the life side, but I want to like
Okay.
go more into like the personal lines P&C, because I do a lot of commercial, a lot of life, and then it's like the home and auto. It's like the last, but it's not intentionally. It's kind of like just where it falls.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome that you're. There's not a lot of young people so you started your agency. You said in January.
Of this year.
Okay. Yeah, man. There's not a lot of people. Honest, I'm only 24.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be 25 pretty soon. But it's awesome to see like-minded people that are young and doing it. So yeah, man. So you're an independent agency or what
Mhm.
exactly?
Yeah, I'm independent. I'm through an agency cluster, Smart Choice Agents.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I had some great mentors kind of help me along the way, because I couldn't do like as much as I wanted to. So like my first month wasn't like as heavy sales as I wanted it to be, because I had to meet with like the different companies, get the appointments, have the trainings. So I was like, it's like the first 3 weeks was like
Gosh.
trainings back to back to back to back. So, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's been good. But like, I just wanted to ask, like, what is like I guess your marketing for like P&C, on the P&C side?
Yeah, yeah. So it's kind of changed quite a bit since the beginning. When I first started, I kind of always had this gut feeling that networking was the way to go because it was a sustainable something that could continue to feed leads and deals down the road. So it wasn't just like a one-time purchase lead for auto insurance or home insurance or whatever on the PNC side. So yeah, like for me, honestly, Kenny, I was like, dude, I want to build something that's like long-term, scalable, and is not just like cranking out cold calls all day. Like I want to build up relationships that
Right.
are going to kind of feed the business. And I don't know, that's kind of where my gut felt at the beginning. So that's where I really put my energy in early on. um, and then it's developed quite a bit. And once you get those, do you feel like you've kind of gotten some of those relationships going yourself, or
So
what have you
yeah,
been doing?
surprisingly, a lot of my leads come from YouTube. I have like, I think it's like 2,000 subscribers now
Wow.
on my insurance YouTube channel. So a lot of leads come from there. And then like my social media. So I haven't had to purchase
Wow.
any leads, and I've been like, I think the first month I wrote like maybe 14,000 in premium. This month, last month was like 15.
That's not
Um,
bad.
that's like off of like just my warm marketing, just me kind of like working it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a solid start. I think 14, 15, you started January, right?
Hmm.
Of this year?
Yeah.
January, February. Dude,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not even like it's like 2 months.
Yeah. Right.
That's
He's
great.
smart.
I think my Kenny, just to tell you straight up, my first month, I think I wrote like 4 or 5 thousand. I had no idea. Like I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
15, 14, 15, that's a solid number for sure to start with. Uh, yeah, and that's like friends, family, or who is it? Like You said
Warm
YouTube?
market,
Or?
yeah, like friends, family, people from YouTube, like I get a lot of leads from YouTube. And then
That's crazy.
my Instagram as well. And
Yeah.
so that's mainly because like through Smart Choice, like I can write commercial anywhere in the US because I
Right.
write their code, but like for personal lines, I'm licensed in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia.
Through
So
Smart
say
Choice.
that one more time.
Through Smart Choice.
Well, I have like direct appointments for like my life insurance side, and then certain
Ah,
PNC, I have direct appointments as well. But like for the I guess bigger companies, I went through them just so it was a little easier because you know you need that I guess business before so they can see okay you're writing business. But I was brand new, you know, so it's just like how do we
right.
know if you're gonna write this business?
Right. Right.
Yeah, so if I were you, man, like I would probably, just to kind of scale it up, it sounds like you're doing the right thing. 14, 15, the one thing I would say is don't put like all your eggs like, okay, YouTube is going to continue to feed me leads. It probably will, and it's like there's a good chance it will continue to do that, but don't bank on it completely. Like definitely feed it and keep giving it energy because it's working, but I would kind of start to diversify a little bit. Like I would chop your YouTube content. I don't know if you're on LinkedIn or, I'm sure you said Instagram. I would start, chopping up the content and kind of diversifying it. As far as social media platforms, that's just one route to go, but there's so much more to selling. There's, the networking, maybe even creating content towards like the loan officers, realtors, and start kind of, instead of cold calling people, cold call loan officers, realtors, email blasting. And the reason I said when you first asked is like it's changed quite a bit for me. It all kind of started with like, let's just make it organic, go to networking groups, connect with people, see who can just refer me. But now it's more like I'm going more outbound, like really starting to hit up at scale lots of people. And there's some tools that I'm using right now that are like text blasting, text automation, drip campaigns, email campaigns, voicemail drops. So like it'll literally just ring people one time and it just goes straight to voicemail, and it'll be like, hey, this is Chris just calling to see if I could run you a quick quote on, I would say something different, but so then there's that. Then they all start calling back. Then the phones just start to ring. And it's almost like, I like to think of it like reverse cold calling because they're calling me. So they're like, hey, I just got a missed call. And I'm like, oh yeah, we were just reaching out to see if we could maybe, run you a quick quote on auto insurance or renter's insurance, depending on the list. So gathering like data, like lots of data is very, very important, especially for independent agents. Like if you were State Farm, I would be like, hey man, like, yeah, just ramp up your State Farm marketing, or I would go more of the relationship route. But since you're independent, you have a lot more flexibility, and like there's no one that's going to be cracking down on you if you do an automation like email blast or text blast. So I would
look into that maybe a little bit. Yeah. Have you done any like automation or anything like
I've sent
campaign?
out emails, but it was kind of like me copying it in like my notes and then pasting it and then putting their name. So I got some feedback mainly from like the State Farm agents because they knew the agent that I worked for.
Yeah.
So I have gotten referrals from a few State Farm agents and then a few realtors as well.
Gotcha. So yeah. This is exactly the same thing. It's just doing it hundreds and hundreds of people. And dude, like the other day, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, we put 8,000 potential renters. We hit up a management company. They're the ones that are getting all these inquiries basically of potential people renting properties in SoCal. And we, luckily I have a connection there. So they gave me the list for free of like 8,000 people. Then we plug them in and we basically just voicemail drop them, text blast, we do everything to try to get them, on the phone and just say, hey, can we run you a quote on renter's insurance? And we're doing thousands a week. So it's the name of the game is like, we're in a numbers game, we are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I would just try to just do stuff more activity instead of copying and pasting.
Because that's a lot. It takes a lot of time. I'm just like,
Yeah. So wait, what about like the successes, like the ones you've gotten? Are they commercial deal? You said they're personal lines or?
Mainly personal. Usually it's like homeowners insurance or like landlords insurance. And it's because they got dropped from their company that they're with, like a State Farm, Allstate, USAA, or whoever. So then they refer them to me. And of course, the realtor is just usually like a homeowner's policy or something like that. And I reached out to like a lot of car dealerships too. I haven't really had anything. I had a few referrals from that, but not like a ton of referrals.
Yeah, yeah, those are tricky. And also, what I've noticed, depending on the quality of the dealership, like we have, I know one of my good buddies. He also runs an agency. He gets a lot of referrals from like kind of some lower quality dealerships sometimes, and they're
Yeah.
just like people that they'll get the policy, and a week later they're canceling the policy. So yeah, man, you got to make sure also those are.
Be careful with that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What's like the goal, Kenny? What are you trying to do? Like, are you trying to like make a like make a big team, build a big, agency or small, medium size? Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, definitely want to grow it big, have people work under me. And that's kind of another question I had because with certain policies after it issues, it pays out in 45 days. But it's just like starting out, I can't tell the person, hey, in 45 days I'll pay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, what? Like, so that was another thing. But life is a little different because once it issues, it's paid. And that's like, they can understand that. But if I want somebody more so, because I have life agents, but if I want somebody on the PNC side, I don't see how that would work until I have more, like profit in the bank. So I could pay
Yeah,
kind of like advance in a sense. And then the policy issues, of course, I'm like, quote unquote, reimbursed for that payout.
yeah. I hear you. I hear you. I mean, yeah, I deal with it too. It's you basically are a month behind, or yeah, like a month and a half behind. So what I would do is this is just my personal belief with since personal lines there's some that are 6 months. There's 6 month terms, so it's a matter of forecasting a month out. So a month from now, like let's say you have a killer month this month, you know you're about to get 45 days from now you're going to get paid a nice commission, so you're going to have a little more revenue in a month. um, and then what I like to do is with forecasting out my renewals. So like let's just say 6 months is when you first start getting renewals. Right now you haven't even had one round of renewals coming in yet.
Right.
So that's a challenge for sure. What I would do is wait at least 6 months so that you have some type of renewals flowing, and you can pretty much not completely bank on it because as you know, like those could cancel or hopefully they don't.
Right.
Um, but I would at least have some layer of like a baseline layer of renewals that at least you could cover that person's payroll or like pay your team. Not paying yourself, I think you could manage and probably figure it out. But yeah, not being able to pay like your team, that's a challenge. You got to be. I would at least have one cycle of renewals under your belt,
Okay.
and just see what that kind of looks like. And then if you can start stashing away month to month, just be like, okay, I'm gonna not spend this all and just try to just kind of build up a little nest egg so that if something really goes bad, I'll at least have to cover my team, because your team, and I say this to my people too, I'm like, you guys are this is the bloodline of the agency. Like you can't do it all yourself. There's only so much you and I can do. Even at being like the best producer out there or best salesman out there. There's the marketing, there's the sales, the service. Once it all starts to build up and you got $1 million in premium and you got people calling you 7-8 times a day saying, change my auto, my mortgages need to update. Dude, there's no way. Your people is the biggest and best investment you'll make in building the business. So be smart. Don't rush it either. Like you don't want to rush it. But that's I guess the only way you can rush it is by putting up more sales now. So like just figuring out how to close more deals now so that when those renewals do come, they're heavy enough that they can pay for a full-time person versus a part-time person. Yeah, because I started with a little bit of part-time.
Okay.
I don't know. Is that what you were thinking, or were you thinking of doing like full-time?
I was thinking about, so I was looking at like part-time and then full-time, and I was kind of doing the calculations because part-time, of course, you save a lot of money, and it's like you can write 2-3 policies and get that back, So It's just like I would think I would want to go part-time at first, but it just depends on the flow of money coming in at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. I think I mean, I don't know. Have you ever, okay, so Kenny, have you had like any positions in the past, like you've been a manager or like, have you
Mhm.
had to fire people, hire people? You
Yeah.
have? Okay, so you have that experience. I didn't have that experience when I first started. So I didn't know what that was like to like hire, fire.
Right.
Like this guy keeps showing up late. Like I don't know what to like say to him. Like, so the fact that you have that experience, that means yeah, I think you're in a better spot than I was, you know? So,
It's just finding the people though. That's the thing. People, everybody
right.
wants a job and nobody wants to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like, and the last question I had, I saw
Sure.
one of your videos. You said you had like an admin fee or like a broker's fee, but I wanted to know what that was about.
So a broker fee, we charge those specifically on non-standard business. So, um, so you're probably familiar with like admitted companies, Travelers, Safeco, Liberty. These are direct bill to the customer. Um, there's the other side of the world where it's like the wholesale side, where it's like the difficult insurance policies, and those ones are agency billed. I don't know if you've done any of those yet, Kenny. It's like kind of the more difficult stuff.
Like the surplus lines and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I had it like financed through it was like some option that I had to like finance that thing.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, so you finance it, but it's still agency billed. So you're in charge of the down payment. We don't have to get like too into how like exactly it works, and I'm happy to talk about that later. But basically, those ones, the renewal process, the just the binding process is like super choppy. It sucks, dude. Like that process sucks. So the amount of time it takes to do a policy like that and to renew it and to get the accord signed and to get the D1 signed, the SL2 and all this stuff that needs to come together, it takes up too much time. So I decided like we have to. I didn't used to, but now it's like a standard. Any new policy and renewal, we do a $200 broker fee on those, and that's just because.
How do you collect that payment?
So that one we do through. We just add it on to the down payment. Whatever we collect at the agency for the down payment or the full. Let's just say it's a $5,000 general liability policy for a manufacturing company. And they want to pay it in full. We just do $5,000 and $200. We just add it on top, and then they pay it to us. We take the $5,200. We keep our commission plus that broker fee, and then we pay the company the remainder amount. And if it's financed, all they require you to take is the down payment, because the finance company pays the rest. And then so yeah, we basically add it onto the down payment of that finance agreement. So like, let's say it was that 5,000. The down payment would be, let's just call it 1,000.
So we would just make it 1,200, and then the finance company pays the other 4,000 to the company. We keep the 1,200 minus commission, and then we pay the rest. Let's just say 800 to the company. We keep the 400. I don't know if that.
I got you.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's where it gets complicated, and I hate like I always wonder with new agents. I'm like, how lost are people in this process? Because like for me, dude, I was like, I have no clue what's going on right now.
I was on the phone with them every step of the way. I called them maybe 10 times my first time. I was like, so you want me to do what with this now? You want me to send it where? And say what? It was a lot. They have to do the inspections, and I was like, what in the world? Like, it was a lot.
Oh man.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Kenny, if you do come up with any other questions with like that stuff, feel free, just let me know anytime, dude. Like you can shoot me an email and I'm happy to answer that stuff. That's like easy stuff I can answer quickly.
I got you.
Perfect.
Well, I appreciate your time. Keep going with YouTube. You're doing a great job, man. I look forward to your video.
Thank you so much for taking the time to come.
Of course. Thank you so much, Camden.
Yeah,
I appreciate it, man. Keep it up.
Have a good one.
Talk to you soon, man.
All
right. Thanks.
All righty.